willing to share a few tips with us. So we believe ma'am will be giving us direct actions and how she initiated her social projects like Dehradun Drum Circle or Kahani and many more. And not only these, she was also the part of front cover in India Forbes, and also got appreciation for her hard work and creativity through a lot of wonderful people. She's here with us today to share her experience to her journey, to talk about more social concerns and that need to be addressed. So thank you so much, ma'am, and we'll start our session now.
Thank you so much, Neha. So kind of you. I think those were a lot many kind words. And I really appreciate the presence and the time that everybody else has devoted to hear me out. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for all the kind words. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you so much for having faith that I might be speaking something meaningful. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. And I hope you guys are having great fun in lockdown from college. Everybody's home, enjoying. I hope that's doing well for you guys.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi. We all know you're such a beautiful entrepreneur. So, can we start with the fun part? Like, how was your childhood like?
Yeah, sure. So I come from a very small town, yeah. It is a small town in the state of Uttarakhand, which is probably a lot of people in India might not even know where Uttarakhand is. We share boundary with almost three other countries from this state. From the capital of that state is a small town, and I have lived in a boarding school since class ninth, and it was an all girls boarding school by the name of Hopetown Girls. And then I went to England when I was 17 years old. So yeah, and then I studied business studies. I was also the part of the student council there, very, very well politically connected in the Lancashire county of my university. And yeah, so that I think I have had a beautiful childhood in the sense that I have not been a very pampered child, not at all. My parents were very strict, my grandparents were very strict, and I think the kind of values they imbibed into me were exceptional. And I think because of that uh, is where I am that I am today. And I always respected them, as they call it, agyakari. So I have always been a very agyakari and yet a rebel child. So that is what it has been.
That's so nice, ma'am. How
Yeah.
did the journey of Evolved begin?
So like coming from my childhood, I was always in this mode of creation, always in this mode ever since I was a child, always wanting to do something that matters, always out there to help people. And I think that is something I take from my friends and my family. They always believed in me in the sense that uh, they always supported me for my craziness till the time they could tolerate it. But after a while, my parents said, they got scared. Till childhood, till class 12th, everything was okay. Okay, do whatever you feel like. But once you grow up, and then your parents like, no, 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 do a job. No, 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 no. This is not girls, and this is not something that girls in our family do. So I think because uh, I had great value system and great support. So I never thought that they were not supporting me. I was always like, oh, abhi mana kar rahe hain, fir shayad maan jayenge. So let me just be a rebel at the same time, and eventually they will come around. So it was quite a war as well. So something similar with Evolve as well. So Evolve actually, to give you a very, very small brief, I came back from England in 2014. And I after a boarding school, I completely went to England. So I never had a chance to experience India in its true self, like to live in a city and to know the tough side of India. Because before that I was in a boarding school, so I never interacted much with Indian people and people from different segments and different society and all that stuff. Because as a child you only interact with that much people, especially when I was a child. I'm a 90s born child, so I'm a 92, so it is early 90s, so that is how it was, right? So things like when I came, it's very funny. Okay, so when I came back from England, right now you might be thinking, oh, you know what, we can't relate to it, but probably you can. So when I came back from England, everybody would ask me, so what's your name? Like I would try to make some new friends in the city or something. So I would say Nupur. Then they would say, oh, sorry, can you please come again? What's your full name? I would think in my mind, what's pinching your bum? If I'm Khan, Dhat, Kumar, Bhatt, or XYZ Singh, Sharma, anything. How does it matter? But then I realized that the entire country somewhere is still so slaved. Is still so, is genetically slaved. We are still in the clutches of caste, creed, gender. So I remember my parents telling me when I was going to England, they're like, beta, ध्यान से रहना, वहाँ तो बहुत racism होता है. I think they should have told me when I came back from England to India, beta, यहाँ तो हर level पे discrimination होता है. यहाँ पे ध्यान से रहना is more important. So that is something that caught on to me. And then someday I was sharing this thought of mine with one of my dad's friend. He's an IS officer, and he said, what, boss, I think you've got the caliber to prepare for civils and give civils, and I know you'll be an IS officer, and you have this leaderistic quality, and you're so charismatic, and we need people like you, and this and that. And before this, trust me guys, I didn't even know what a bureaucrat is. Like I had no idea what a what does an IS person do or whatever. But I randomly went for a coaching. I sat down. I was also working in my dad's business, so I used to work till 4 o'clock in my dad's business, and from 4:30 to 7:30, I would go for my class. And then suddenly, I would really enjoy the class. I started enjoying the class. So it was my day 3 in my civil services coaching, and my teacher started teaching us the fundamental rights. And I was sitting right there in the middle of the class, and I started howling, not even crying. Like, to be honest, I was howling. And my teacher asked, so beta, what happened? Are you okay? Are you not liking it? You are most welcome to leave, and you don't have to do this forcefully and this and that. I'm like, no sir. He's like, should we stop the class and all that stuff? I said, no sir, I'll go out, I'll be okay, and come back. So then I had a conversation after the class got over with my teacher, and I told him, sir, I probably am overprivileged for a country like India. My parents are educated, I am educated, I have traveled the world, I get food all 3 meals, I have a shelter on my head, I have clothes to wear. My grandmother is, graduated from English medium. Uh, we have a business, we are well to do. Probably I belong to the top 10% of this country. What about the rest 90%? And I do not know about my fundamental rights. It is a disgrace. What about the other 90% people who do not have all these privileges? And how, like, what are we doing? Like, I have studied from the best of the school, went abroad, best of the education, like, best of every single thing I've had. And I do not know about my fundamental rights. And I would like to ask this question to you all. How many of you know about all your fundamental rights? How many of you know about them? And I felt so crappy. I was like, no, you know what? This is what it is. I have to know this. Even if I become a civil servant, I do not, but I got to know about my country. I have to know the geography, the history, the constitution, every policy, and every little thing. So, as in when I started studying about it, I gave my civils. I used to really enjoy studying for the civil services examination. So, and it gave me so much insight, and also a lot of my, because I've been always a very revolutionary child in my life. So always coming from the point where, boss, how does it punch his bum? If I am a Bhatt, Khanna, Khan, Singh, or any person, like, how does it matter, right? I'm a Rama Murthy or a Krishna Murthy, like, you know me for who I am. So I did an experiment. I would go meet people over a cup of coffee or tea, and to somebody I would tell my surname something, to somebody else I would give a different surname, and I would tell them, to some people I would tell I've studied from England, to the others I would tell I've studied from a local DAV public college or something of that sort. And trust me, there were only 5% people who were interested in me for who I am at that moment. Rest everybody, all that they care about is what caste do I belong to. Oh, she's a pretty girl, we should hang around with her. Or majority of them, oh, she studied from England and she might be very knowledgeable because she studied from England, she stayed in England for quite some while. So I felt, boss, this is leading to a big discrimination in our society and a big breakdown in efficiency. So just imagine if you guys were running a company and you belong to a certain caste and you had certain preferences, and you had a guy who was very good at his job and probably he wasn't of your preference in caste, creed, gender, or whatever, and you said, okay, boss, you know what? I cannot keep you in my organization because it's not the merit that I want to keep you on, but it is where you belong from. And that is what happens. In our country, so many civil servants become civil servants not on merit, but on certain backgrounds that they belong to. Or so many doctors become doctors, or so many colleges, so many entrances, just because there is great and enormous amount of reservation. And the reservation, I do not have any uh, disagreement with the concept of reservation, but it should be given to people who genuinely deserve it, not to people who do not deserve it. And deserve it in the sense that, yes, a person is genuinely backward, yes, a person is not economically stable, you know. So it is just a very sad state of affair. And because I believed this in so much and I wanted to get into civils and do something, so I cleared my prelims, I cleared my mains. I did not clear my interview because of the same reason of reservation. 50 there in civil services, there is 50% of reservations for specially abled, OBC, ST, and SC. So that was the reason I did not clear my interview. And then I thought, you know what, if I have the capability, if I have the talent, if I have the will to do something, I can be part of the civil society and I can do something great. So coming back to the history of our country, Gandhi ji belonged to no party. He came from Africa. He had no support when he came, political support, although he belonged to a very, very affluent family. But he stayed in the poorest of the conditions just to realize what every single farmer in this country or the peasant in this country goes through. So, because I was very, very influenced from Gandhi and a freedom fighter, so I did the same. I left all the privileges of my life. I fought with my family to get into social entrepreneurship because I belong to a business family. So my acumen, my brain functioning is a little bit very, is like business, but my soul is very social. Also, not to forget, I don't know if you guys have seen Three Idiots. So, I got very sick in 2014 October, and I was hospitalized almost on deathbed. So I got a lot of time to think on what the purpose of my life is. That is when I realized that all that I want to do is to empower people and communities. Regardless of, I may do it through business, or probably I'm doing it through this talk or anything of that sort. And guys, when I say this, I really mean it. You guys all have my email address, or you can share my mobile number anytime, anything that you feel that you need help and support. Please feel free to drop by a call or a message or an email. I'm a little slow in replying because I have talks, or I am so consumed with a lot of people. But yes, I have a team of people who tells me by priority wise that, this is the person who's urgently needing some help, support, mentoringship, or whatever. And but I promise that I eventually land up responding and replying back to every single person who's walked by my doorstep. And I think the same thing has happened with VIT. So I got an Instagram handle message, I got a WhatsApp, and I'm sure you guys might be wondering, how busy is she? She doesn't reply or anything of that sort. But guys, trust me, I really do come back. Um, So getting back to how did we start Evolve, just wanted to give a small background of my life, and I hope all of you all take some inspiration from that. That every all of us are privileged, guys. All of us, and this is how I started Evolve, because I was not happy with the present situation of our society, and I hope you guys also find some or the other issue that you are not comfortable with, and that is why we have disagreements, and that is why we fight with people, and that is why we are not comfortable in the place that we are in, may it be physically, mentally, emotionally, or whatsoever, right? So, and trust me, all of us are privileged in the sense that we are sitting at Vellore VIT University and watching this. We all have telephones, mobile phones, smartphones, laptops, iPads. We all have internet. But do you think there are 30 crore more people in this country in who do not have access to all these things? So that is the privilege that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about millions of dollars or having a startup with raising funds of millions of dollars. Charity begins at home. And I'm not even asking you to do charity. All that I'm asking you to do is empowerment. And that's how I started. So, as I told you, I left all my privileges, every single thing. And I started Evolve Foundation with a fund of 3,000 rupees. And before that, I started Dehradun Drum Circle with a fund of somewhere around 1,800, 2,000 rupees. So, I think it is that belief in yourself and your idea that takes you places. It is it is the it is the zeal, it is the unstoppable fire inside you that gets you to do where it is. you know uh, all of us have enough and more amount of resources, enough and more amount of brains, enough and more amount of you know caliber and capability to do anything that we want. All that we lag is uh, the we just get disheartened. We just get disheartened, यार ये कैसे होगा, ये तो पैसों से ही हो सकता है, ये तो नहीं हो सकता. So before I started Evolve, as I told you, I had 3,000 rupees in my pocket, and that's how, and I had no support from my family or anywhere. And that is how I started. I told my father that I'll make this plantable pencil and plantable stationery in a village, and we'll create a smart sustainable village and this and that. And my father said, अब तुम 2 रुपए की पेंसिल बेचोगी, इसलिए हमने तुम्हें विदेश पढ़ने भेजा था, इसलिए इतनी अच्छी पढ़ाई, तुम शादी कर लो. you know so, and that is the story of every girl in this country. I believe at least 90% of them, that the moment a girl is 24, 25, she's forced into getting into a marriage and things like that, even if she doesn't want it. So, like, I refrained. I'm still not married, guys. I don't know when will I get married, which is again. So all that I'm trying to say is that you know keep that belief in yourself. So the idea with Evolve was to create smart sustainable village, that from one particular product we're able to empower every stakeholder in the village. So may it be a farmer from whom we take the seeds, may it be the women who assembles the entire pencil, may it be the kids for whom we've had a library, opened a library there, and they come and do a lot of studies and workshops, and there's internet there and all that stuff, right? So every single stakeholder is involved in that. So before this, I actually started Dehradun Drum Circle, in which today there are some around 20,000 people across India who do drum circles for the purpose of self-expression and getting away, eradicating discrimination from our society. And that was my first agenda, and I'm very proud to say that today in a lot of places where drum circles happen, nobody comes up and asks that, boss, what is your full name, or what is the caste, gender, creed you belong to. People just come, play music, dance together, and go. There is no restrictions that only the high class people or low class people or middle class people will be allowed, or of certain gender or creed or whatever, right? So today I'm proud enough to say that in this movement there are somewhere around 20,000 people today. And trust me, nobody says that drum circle was a movement started by some particular person. Rather, It was just a movement started for eradicating discrimination from our society and increasing the idea of self-expression. So I really, suggest you guys, if you guys can also take small initiatives like this. You never know when they become mass movements for changing and bringing something new in this society. Um, Also, the like, why do we do drum circles here? Is that, it's something like, why do you play basketball? So you play basketball not only to learn the sport, but also to learn how to respect your team members. You learn how to be better team players, how to do a better partnership, how to collaborate. You're learning so many more soft skills than just knowing how to play the game. So similarly, in drum circle, people inherently or unconsciously learned a lot of skill, learned a lot of it became part of their habit, their system, which was more of self expression and less of discrimination. And today, as I again said, it is a movement of about 20,000 people, and it does not carry a tag that there is this drum circle started by so and so, or this person is doing it. And because I never wanted it like that, otherwise we would have completely dissolved the entire idea of that drum circle, that it is started or initiated or owned by a person called Nupur Agarwal from Dehradun with her musician friends, the Bhairavas and this and that, because it just dissolves all that. So now people have Bombay drum circle, Delhi drum circle. I don't know if you have a drum circle at Vellore or not. So it is just like a very basic concept like Swadesi, right? Uh, so yeah, and that is what it is. Any questions still here?
No, ma'am. Can you actually tilt your camera a little bit? We can't see your face properly.
Okay. Is this okay? Allow me a minute.
Yeah, ma'am. This is fine.
Is this working better? Is this better?
Yeah, ma'am. This is fine.
Okay. Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Guys, any questions still here? I saw some people writing in the text below, but I can't see this anymore.
There is a chat option. I'm like, is it a people?
On your
Sorry?
right, you'll be able to see meeting details, people, and chat on your right on the screen.
Okay.
Right top, ma'am.
Guys, if I share the information, people, I just have in call, like people in call and viewing. Everybody's on mute.
We can read out the comments if you want, ma'am.
Yeah. Sure. I would love that.
Ashmita, do you want to read
Okay,
them?
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. There is Teja wanting to share that even the boys do have, it's like by 25 you need to settle and etc. He's trying to share about his views on how boys society is. But settling for different people, the meaning is different. Parents say that settling means earning for family. That's what his comment is.
Yeah. No, so I completely agree. I keep telling this to my brother. I think I am very lucky that probably I can just move out, and I don't have much responsibilities other than getting married and starting a new family. But as boys, you have so much more responsibility. Like, you have to take the lineage forward. You have to, like, it's given that you have to earn for the family. Girls still have that privilege that you don't, and it is not, you're not the breadwinner of the house. So I think somewhere it's a blessing in disguise as well for women, and I completely understand for boys that it is more strenuous for boys as well. So not discriminating in genders here, but just coming from my story as a background, that what I had to go through. Anything else, guys?
Everybody said comments like "very true, ma'am." Indeed, they were agreeing with the facts you were stating.
Okay,
That's it, ma'am.
wonderful. Neha, if you can just tell me what is the background of the audience that we have here. So,
Uh, Most of them are students from VIT,
mhm.
and we think there are few audience from outside who might have been interested in joining this session. But most of them are from VIT second years and third years.
Oh, excellent. तो यार इंजीनियर हो आप सब लोग.
Not yet, but we hope we
हाँ
become one.
हाँ. In process. You're more educated than I am, yeah. This is excellent. I am just a normal BSc honors graduate, and that's all my education. For your information, guys, I've just done a BSc honors in business studies, and I think the little that I studied after that was for civils. Uh, so yeah, so but also, like, I hire a lot of people, and I also mentor a lot of startups, and I invest in a lot of startups. It is very interesting that there was a segment of engineers who were very scared of taking risk. That's something that I saw. They were always in this rut of playing it very safe all the time. Like playing it very, very safe. अच्छा यार नौकरी लग जाए, we'll do it for so many years. उसमें से फिर एक म्यूचुअल फंड की सिप निकाल लेंगे, एक थोड़ा एफडी में कर देंगे, साथ साथ अपना उसका भी अगर लोन ले रखा है तो वो भी पे ऑफ कर देंगे, 2 साल में जॉब चेंज करेंगे, हाइक चाहिए 50%. मैंने कहा बॉस, what, like you aced it, you've studied fucking engineering. You're like smart ass children, like you're smart ass people. Why are you so scared? So one of the questions to a guy who was trying to there were two friends who were trying to create some tech, and my first question, we sat down on a table and I'm discussing. I had that pitch deck beforehand and I went through their entire project, and all that I had to ask them. So the office scheduled a meeting, and all that I had to ask them was, what are you afraid of? So I think today is this another set of question I would request you all guys to answer and write it on a piece of paper for yourself. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that you might not reach anywhere, or your parents might scold you? And like, I'm getting some more questions here, guys. Somebody's asking about fundraising, somebody's asking about different things. So I would like to take up the questions, यार. मेरे बारे में आप सब लोग इंटरनेट पे काफी पढ़ सकते हो, पर
They can
like
ask any questions.
yeah, I think if you guys can ask specific questions,
Yes, ma'am.
that will be nice, because like my story is there all over the internet, and you can read it, you can see the videos and all that stuff. But it would be nice if you utilize this time asking me something that you are looking an answer for, and hopefully I think I should be able to help you guys with this.
Yes, ma'am.
We have
Yeah.
many lot of questions, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah. Bring it on.
Ma'am, I have graduated recently from VIT University, ma'am. And
Okay.
the thing that I have...
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. The thing that I have...
6 साल लगा देते हैं, आपने कितने साल लगाए?
नहीं मैम, 4 साल में हो गया मैम.
चलो मुबारक हो फिर तो.
Ma'am, like the thing is, like universities, not only VIT, every university we see, like the attitude in the parents to the children, or the universities to the children, on the name of rankings and all, they made that engineering something like as a family planning kind of.
Huh.
Something I feel like
Correct.
mentally.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. And they put a limitations on our thinking by saying that iske baad, like go on to the job or something like that, which I was against, and I didn't go for my placements. And rather now, the time I was going through different villages, like with our Leo club, we go to different villages in and around. We were seeing there were villages till now there wasn't a proper electricity. 24 hours electricity isn't there, and they only get one line electricity. For that, we have planned of thinking of some solar panels, off-grid box, which can give a clean water at the same time clean energy. So
Wow.
So being like engineers right now for first years and second years, they are having right now the time. They have the time to innovate. Like I didn't get these ideas in the first year or second year, ma'am. I got this like when I came to my fourth year in the final semester. I got these ideas. So like here, most of the students who are participating are from second years, ma'am. So can you suggest us like how to think more innovative and out of box, ma'am?
Guys, so one suggestion here that and it is commendable. I didn't get your name because I can't see your name. It is commendable what you are doing. You know, you're solving a problem. You're solving a big problem. And let me tell you this, Mark Zuckerberg was also solving a problem because he was an antisocial person. He didn't want to meet people face to face. He met people through Facebook. And he created initially for his, like exactly what Leo Club is doing. You know, he created it for creating a club and ton of people, and then it suddenly just shot off. So, you know, guys, have live life with an open mind. Stop judging. When you walk around the road, be as innovative, yaar. Be Darshil Safari of Tare Zameen Par. Why not? You know, why not? Why do you have to say a car is a car? You can make it a space shuttle, man. It's all in your head. It's your perception. You know, be more receptive. Be more receptive. Be less judgmental. And this is a change in your attitude that you will have to bring in. I understand that in Indian families, in every family rather, it is like, oh, you know what, ये ऐसा होगा या ये तो ऐसा ही होता है सदियों से ऐसा होता आ रहा है. You know, this is how it is, this is how it will be. But why? And trust me, guys, the society wants you to be mediocres. Let me tell you this. The society actually really wants you to be mediocres. You know, otherwise, let's say if we talk about Wright brothers who created the plane, the entire village of Wright brothers told them, you know what, you are crazy, you are mentally demented, you know, you mentally challenged people, and you think there will be something flying in the air which will be heavier than anything else on planet Earth, and it will have people inside it, and you can travel great distances aerially. They said only birds can do that because they are designed by God in such a way, right? So the entire village actually threw them out of their vicinity, and they were asked to live and they were asked to surrender their caste, their religion, everything, and live outside the village for many, many years until the time they did not come up with the design of a plane. Similarly, with anybody that you see who's done something great in their lives, the society has outcasted them for sure. Right? Why do our parents always tell us, beta engineer banna, beta doctor banna, beta IAS banna, you know, beta ये किसी के माँ बाप नहीं बोलते बेटा शाहरुख खान बनना, ये किसी के नहीं बोलते ऐश्वर्या राय बनना, ये भी नहीं बोलते विराट कोहली बनना. दे लाइक हाँ क्रिकेट खेलना है साइड में खेलो, मेन स्ट्रीम स्पोर्ट्स ये सब करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Right? So that is because everybody, like teacher will also give you full marks if you write the answer really according to the book, but will give you zero or will fail you if you write something else, because probably the teacher himself doesn't know that this is also a possibility. So ये तो तुम बात को स्टैम्प कर लो कि समाज आपके अराउंड जितना भी पैराफिनेलिया है ना, बहुत कम ऐसे लोग बोलते हैं हाँ यार तेरे को स्पेस शटल बनाना है, चल साथ में बनाते हैं, या you want to do something crazy, let's do it together. Everybody will tell you कि no, you know what, they will find 10,000 reasons of not doing something rather than one reason for doing something. You know, so anything that you do is you got to change your attitude, be more innovative. A very great shift in your mental level, that there is everything is a possibility. So please write this down, that everything is a possibility. Right now in Corona also there is crazy amount of possibility and opportunity. Like crazy. Like guys, you have so much time. You are not in this college. You don't have to be inside a class. You can, you know, You can be online and study and also do a lot of more things. You can be healthier. You are staying at home, eat great food. You don't have to like cook by yourself or eat outside or anything of those sorts. You can meditate. Like, it's endless. Yeah, I understand you might be missing your friends, but I think with Zoom call and WhatsApp call, I think that can be solved. But yeah, there is immense amount of opportunity, and trust me, the world is changing. The world is really changing, and you should change with that too. So just bring in a change in your attitude, that you got to look at everything as a possibility and not as a problem. Like, problem for yourself. Problem आप solve कर सकते हो, but not as a hindrance, not as a hurdle, like a possibility. That, okay, fine, you know what, this is wrong, and I need to solve this. I need to go forward and do something about it. Right? So just this small shift in your attitude will completely shift your entire agenda of life and will make you more creative and more innovative, because you will start finding possibilities in everything. You will not say, okay, 2 plus 2. We don't have to say 2 plus 2 is 4. We have to say 2 plus 2 is 22. Find a way out for that. And that's what I value. I don't value people who tell me, okay, you know what, 2 plus 2 is 4. I'm like, okay, the world knows that. Tell me, how can I make 2 plus 2 as 22? So start finding opportunity and possibility in everything. And please start meditating, guys. Like, try and meditate for 10 minutes in a day. It will bring, like, calm down your thoughts, and like, you will get into this mode of possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So imagine there's a student. You told that you were privileged when it comes to being financially stable, but if there is someone who actually can't afford it and parents are not supportive, but still you want to start a startup, which is like taking a risk, where a lot. Yeah.
Darling, my parents never supported me. I had 3,000 rupees in my pocket, which actually made me feel worse. I was like, you know what, my parents have money, yaar. Why aren't they giving me money? Which felt worse actually. It is better to be from a place where you know, yaar, यहाँ तो पैसे ही नहीं है और कुछ मिलेगा भी नहीं मुझे. And it is worse to know, अरे यहाँ तो बहुत कुछ है यार, तब भी सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे. सब पढ़े लिखे हैं, घूमे हुए हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं, but तब भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा है इन्हें. It is worse to be in that position. So it is like Gandhi ji. He belonged to the elitist of the elite, but yet he had to start from literally, and that is what gave him reality check also. And that is what it is, guys. Trust me. Okay, I really want to tell this to you all, that दुनिया में ना, धरती पे 2 ही चीजें होती हैं. Number 1 is human resource. आप पैसे से क्या करोगे? आदमी खरीदोगे, सैलरी लाओगे, सैलरी दोगे एक व्यक्ति को अपने स्टार्टअप में काम करने के लिए. और दूसरा होता है नेचुरल रिसोर्स. रेंट करोगे, एनीथिंग दैट इज मेड आउट ऑफ नेचर, राइट? और एनी सॉफ्टवेयर इज आल्सो मेड आउट ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग ओनली, ना? SAP was made out of some set of engineers. Facebook was made out of some set of engineers. So it was human beings, right? Human resource. Another thing is natural resource. Your table, your rent, your laptop, whatever, XYZ, right? These are the only 2 things that you buy off money. Money is just a medium to trade these 2 things off. But just imagine if you have a great idea wherein you actually don't need money. You just need human resource and natural resource. And you trade your idea and your brains and your time for that. And you tell them, okay, fine, boss, you don't give me money, but you know what? You give me you give me your resource. You give me your skill. You give me your expertise. So I think money की वजह से जो लोग हार मान जाते हैं ना, उनको कभी इतना विश्वास ही नहीं था अपने आइडिया पे. आज देखो, पूरी दुनिया में लोग पैसे लेके बैठे हैं, करोड़ों रुपए, हजारों खरबों रुपए लेके बैठे हैं, पर एक कोई व्यक्ति कोरोना का वैक्सीन नहीं निकाल पा रहा है, या सोल्यूशन नहीं निकाल पा रहा है कोरोना का. डू यू थिंक देयर इज एनी लैक ऑफ मनी और रिसोर्स देयर? Every country is telling, you know what, get me people, get me scientists, I will give you money. Like every country is ready to pay even half amount of its GDP. Ki boss, you know what? I need to get a solution to Corona. Probably it might be for their political gain only, but that's what they're looking for, right? But are we getting a solution to it? If money was everything that we needed to do a startup, was then you've got an idea wrong.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have something, ma'am. I started an initiative called My Passion for My Country. There are many students, out of which in our childhood we might have a passion to dance, we might have a passion to play cricket, but we could not take it as a profession. There are many underprivileged kids in slum areas, in children's in shelter homes, etc. So what if each of us will go and give a passion to them? Like if we tell them, teach them something. So maybe that passion they can be the face of the nation tomorrow. So,
yeah, certainly. So this is called something as Shamdan. आप अपने लेबर, अपने कैपेसिटी, अपनी क्रिएटिविटी, अपने पैशन को जाके महीने में, हफ्ते में कुछ घंटे अगर आप किसी के साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं, किसी के साथ एम्पावर कर सकते हैं, इससे बड़ा तो और कोई कार्य है ही नहीं. I don't think so. There's something beyond this.
Yes, ma'am. And in the second half, the person who is volunteering for this initiative, they will be benefited by other set of people. Like there will be mentors or something in the way of profession there. For example, someone is interested for studies in masters, they require GRE and all. So those people will be given free pro trips of writing GRE or something like that. So they will be benefited. At the same time, their passion they are giving it to someone. This way, I thought of it and planned it, ma'am. But the thing, the hurdles.
Yeah, tell me.
But the thing, the hurdles is like right now during this COVID time, I'm unable to go out to the areas because I'm in containment zone. So can I start something where from my home can I do something right now, ma'am?
Yeah. Why not? Why don't you get in touch with in your city or in your areas? You know, guys, I'm getting a lot of questions here. So if you can tell me, because they are just coming on my screen and evaporating.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
He would ask
comments.
Yeah. So how you can do this is that there are 2-3 ways. You know, probably you can, if you have a local newspaper or you have some NGOs or anything. So, you know, start small. Do a tie-up with them and start with yourself or 4 of your friends. Tell them, you know, we want to take classes for music, or we want to take classes for dance, or we want to take classes for, let's say, coding. And tell them that, you know, in your NGO, if there are people in your organization, or start with anybody's house help. Let's say you live in a colony where there are 5 women who come, they have kids, or those women itself want to learn something. Start with them. And if they like what you are teaching, they feel yes, it is benefiting them, the skill is getting improved, they will tell 10 more people. And eventually you will see that, you know, you have probably once in a week in your house, you have a Baithak where people come and want to learn. I understand that a lot of underprivileged people do not have mobile phones, do not have internet. But you can start, this is how you start doing it. Don't think कि यार मेरे को तो एक class करनी है and I will be impacting hundreds of people at one go. You know, start like this, and then you see, start, initiate it, just go for it, just bring it in action, just do it. And that is how, once you start small, you will also know all the problems that are happening, because everywhere the communities are different, the people are different, the language is different, we're a very diverse nation. So all that I'm trying to say is just get your intentions, your initiatives in action. Start small, do one thing and go ahead. Then you will see, अच्छा हाँ यार, इनके घर में इनके एक घर में किसी के पास ना यार वो है, टीवी है, तो मैं ऐसा करता हूँ, उसमें कुछ जियो का एक छोटा सा 1000 रुपए का स्मार्ट टीवी वाला डिश सेट लेके, व्हाटएवर द थिंग इज, और मैं उनके स्मार्ट टीवी में लगा देता हूँ, एंड लेट मी स्टार्ट प्रोजेक्टिंग इट. It is not much investment. It is like 5,000 or whatever, 2,000 rupees of investment, and let me give one house and internet, and then all the people in the slum area can come together and watch this, and then you give them a timetable कि अच्छा हम सुबह इसकी क्लास देंगे, उसके बाद इसकी क्लास देंगे, उसके बाद इसकी क्लास देंगे. But till the time you do not initiate it, you will not know कि किसके घर में वो टीवी है, या मैं किसके घर इंटरनेट दे सकता हूँ, या किसके घर में पूरे स्लम से सारे लोग आएंगे, या इनको किस क्लास की जरूरत है. लेट्स से सब बच्चों के स्कूल बंद हैं और वो लोग नहीं अपना होमवर्क कर पा रहे हैं जो उन्हें मिल रहा है स्मार्टफोन के, या किन्हीं बच्चों को किसी चीज की कोचिंग चाहिए, आप उस चीज की कोचिंग पढ़ा सकते हो. कोई 12वीं क्लास बच्चे थे, उनको कोचिंग के लिए जाना था कहीं, वो नहीं, या वो अफोर्ड ही नहीं कर सकते हैं, पर उनको इंजीनियरिंग करनी है, आप उन्हें पढ़ा सकते हो. सो start this with your own little house. Go to your like your mohalla, from your mohalla to your area, and then you see it just keeps mushrooming, and in this format you will have a lot of people joining hands with you as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Ma'am, there are questions in the comment section.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a question from Siddharth. Ma'am, I want to be an entrepreneur. Should I go for a job to get the capital, or should I get directly into the startup by raising funds from different ways after my graduation?
Siddharth, I think it is your call. If you think your idea is great, if you think you have an idea and you've well researched that idea and that will revolutionize lives, boss, make a business plan, make a solid business plan, like write it on a piece of paper, make a solid business plan, take it to 2-3 investors, see if you're able to get a seed fund or not. And if you still don't get a seed fund, let's say sometimes people don't understand very long-lived vision ideas. Like people say, oh, you know what, this is like beyond my thought process and that's why I'm rejecting it. If you think that is what is happening, then start it. Like you might have to and is Siddharth graduated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 4 साल graduation में तो कर ही दिए बर्बाद, 1 साल और सही.
No, actually he's in second year, ma'am.
So why not, yaar? You started now, you have 2 more years, your parents are already paying for your graduation, or you've taken loan or whatsoever. You have 2 years to write the business plan, pitch it to people, and especially in corona times when you're not going to the college, you have enough and more time. I think if one doesn't have to go to the college and just study online, you have 30% more time than you normally have if you have to attend a college full time. So do it. Like send me your idea for that matter. Just email it to me. I'll see if it has great potentials, and I'm sure it will. I'm really sure it will. So just work on your idea, man, for 2 years. Apply all that you are studying. If you think it applies to your it applies to your idea, do that. Try and build networks, and don't be scared. I see a lot of people, you know what, ma'am, this is like a non-disclosure form. We'll sign agreement, NDA we'll sign first. You can't share this idea with anybody. Because there is nothing that there is not there. If you've thought about it, 10 million more people have thought about it. But if you've been able to execute it, only 100 more might be able to execute it. Because execution is the key.
Yes,
लाइट के बारे में बहुत सारे लोगों ने सोचा था, पर कितने लोग एक्चुअली लाइट लेके आ पाए थे, लाइट बना पाए थे, उसके बाद बल्ब बन पाया था, which was like very less यार, very less. रोज लोग ऊपर से नीचे एप्पल को गिरते हुए देखते थे, पर कितने लोग ग्रेविटी का फॉर्मूला निकाल पाए, मतलब executing that thing. Every day people would see apples falling or mangoes falling, but how many people did know about gravity?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't feel scared यार, मेरा आइडिया है, चोरी ना हो जाए. चोरी हो गया तो क्या हो गया यार, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने भी एप्पल से चोरी करा था.
Yes, ma'am.
But today we all know, what do we value more? Which is a bigger company? Is it Microsoft or is it Apple? Both are big, but which is bigger? Which has more value? Which has more legit customers, loyal customers, right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
So if I raise funds from investors, I will not have the independency of taking my own decisions in order to extend my business, no, ma'am. So how can I manage that?
No, see, Siddharth, I'll tell you something. Again, you are getting... You are assuming a lot of things from advance. To bring in a child also, a mother needs support of a sperm, a man, a father. Nothing happens in isolation. You know?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. How can I get that independency, ma'am? If I get
No, you see, independent. What is that is what I'm telling you. Are you independent? The answer:
independence in the sense,
influence of the investor, right? Influence of the investor.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am saying even if the investor is influencing you, why are you taking the investor and you as two different teams to bring in a baby which is your startup? You and the investor should be one team. You should have the if you have had the idea of convincing him to invest his money into your idea, to not have his own influence into your business is an easier game. You
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
him that, boss, see, you believe in me, that is why you've invested in me. So now you have to surrender to me that whatever I am doing is in good faith. And all that you should care about is the return on your investment.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, see, first stage, which was the most difficult, you've already cleared that. I'm assuming, that, I had to sell my idea to somebody and that person had to invest in me, right? That has already been done. It is gone and dusted. Now it is very easy to, convince that person to not interfere in the direction of damaging your thought process or your vision of your company. Because he was sold to you, he invested in you and he was sold to your idea actually on that vision and mission.
Yes, ma'am.
And even, let's say, even if he's interfering, that independence is not there, you tell him, boss, okay, fine, I'll return your money and this is my idea and I don't want your money anymore, if that it leads to such an extent. But what I feel is that nothing works in isolation. There's always a negotiation, there's always a middle path. So you will always find a path wherein you are able to have that investor on board, have him convinced. Probably somewhere you are only not convinced with a few things, and hence you are giving in.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question from Archita.
Yeah.
Ma'am, coming from a not so supporting family but supportive parents, of course, and being a single girl child, I have a lot of restrictions. So my biggest fear is disappointing parents. How could I overcome, ma'am?
Oh, I think she's my types, Agyakari. No, yaar, so disappoint. See, your parents, you have to, if you are not happy, you are disappointing them as it is. If you are not happy, you are as it is disappointing them. Because their only and only intention is to see you happy.
Yes, ma'am.
Their only intention, what is the name of the girl?
Archita.
Akshita.
Archita.
Archita. So you're only, what your parents, you ask them, Mummy, Papa, what is your ultimate goal for me? They'll tell, beta, we just want you to be happy. And now that if you're not being happy, that is the biggest disappointment for them. And trust me, if you are not happy, they are not happy as it is.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
something that matters, do something that makes you happy. And then if they don't like it, tell them, boss, this is for my good. This is what I want to do. And you mentioned to me that your ultimate goal is for towards me to see me happy. And I am your blood and flesh. And I promise that I will never let you down. And trust me, this is easier said than done. I've been in the same boat. I've literally been in the same boat, and it's easier said than done. It took me 2 years, more than 3 years, probably even 4. One year I'm not counting only. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And there is a question from Meda. Is it wise to change careers or streams if we are not passionate about what we are doing?
Yeah, completely. My brother dropped out of engineering after 3 years from Narsi Munji Engineering, Bombay. And he dropped out of third year. And my parents kept telling him, boss, you're doing the biggest mistake of your life. You should complete it. And this, that. He's like, no, that's not what I want to do. If you are not passionate, take a wise decision. Think if it's like 3 years and you think you can still stretch it, and also because you've spent time more than anything else, you spent a lot of time on it, just complete it, keep the degree, keep it safe, keep it to put it on your wall, and then continue doing that you really want to while you're also studying for it or doing something that you don't want to. But take a wise decision, like balance it out. Balance it out. If you think that यार अच्छा 1 ही साल रह गया है, कर लेती हूँ, 3 साल तो काट ही दिए, so if you've done that, do that, complete it, right? And then also side by side do other things.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what is your ultimate goal in life?
Mine?
Yeah,
this question was asked to me in an interview on Friday as well, to which I answered that I do not have an ultimate goal, because I think I have a journey and I don't want an ultimate goal. Whatever deeds I do today, tomorrow, day after, whatever karams and deeds that I keep doing, good or bad, my goal will shape into that. So I am more focused in what I do today. I am more focused in what my thoughts are. I am more focused in what, in what deeds, what karam I do every day, because I know that will shape my goal. So there is no ultimate goal.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, how do you keep yourself motivated at times when you're low, at tough times when you're feeling low?
That's a very, very good question, So, to be very honest, I think the ways that I keep motivated is I listen to very pepped up music, like extremely, extremely amazing music is something that I listen to, like party types, like shady, party, shallow music. And then I get a little pepped up in the middle of the office if I'm low and not motivated. Otherwise, I will watch this like a short-term motivation when I lack short-lived motivation. Then sometimes these are the aspects for short-lived motivation if I need, which is music. I dance. I like dance like crazy. Then I listen to some spiritual videos. I'm a very, very spiritual person. So I will listen to probably Osho, Sadhguru, or I listen to Dalai Lama and things like these. Otherwise, one more thing. Sometimes I will call somebody I know who's probably in some trouble. And purposely, okay, like I know that this person is facing some challenge in his or her life, and I will go and meet that person or talk to that person and try and solve his or her problem. So that gives me a lot of motivation, so it gives me double motivation. Number one, I've helped that person. Number two, I know that there's somebody who's in a worse position. I'm still at a better place. So it is, it is like a double state of motivation. So this is like a long-term motivation. And I think empowering people gives me a different level of kick. Everything that I do, everything, eat, sleep, drink, party, business, work, talks, social work, it's all for the same aligned purpose to empower people and communities. And that is what gives me ultimate level of motivation. And also, on the other side, I think meditation really helps me a lot. Being spiritual and guys, just a minute, my dog is playing with his toy. Yeah. So sorry, guys. So sorry. So I think that is what it is. Next, I hope you
Right.
have some inspiration by all these things. So one is also very mean, like I will purposely go
Mm-hmm.
meet a person who's not as in a happy place, and I will try and solve their problem, and also feel that, oh, there's somebody who's at a worse position. Like how in Three Idiots they say, यार जब अपना
Yeah.
दोस्त first आता है तो और भी ज्यादा बुरा लगता है. So it is something like that. मतलब, no offense to the dosti, but that's how humans are designed, I feel. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there are few more questions in comment section, ma'am.
Yeah.
What are the qualities that a young entrepreneur should have in order to succeed?
Mm, I believe that self belief is extremely important. Passion is more important than that. So I think self belief and passion have a very thin line between the two. They're just words of the same feeling. Um so great passion and the focus to be smart working as well as hard working at the same time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that, ma'am. And
Yeah.
there is a question, ma'am. These days,
Yeah.
a lot of startups are shutting down due to lack
Yeah.
of perseverance. How important is perseverance for an upcoming entrepreneur?
यार क्योंकि वो स्टार्टअप्स प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए थे ही नहीं. Those people never wanted to build Tata. Those people never wanted to build Google, or those people never wanted to build Facebook or WhatsApp. All that they wanted to do was raise funds, do some fraud, show their companies in losses, and earn their money out of it and move forward and sell their company. So they never, and this is where the startup industry will actually take a great shift. Let me tell you this, that there was a time, what somebody raised, so it was only manipulating funds. There was an era in the past 2 years in this country where a lot of venture capitalists, a lot of equity funds, a lot of investors, all that they were looking at was to manipulate and increase the value of their fund and make money on that. So let's say, for example, if somebody invested 100 rupee into a company, they bought 10% equity of that business. So the business overall was for 1000 rupees, and somebody invested 100 rupees. So now this person wants to simply increase the valuation of the company and say, I still hold. So he probably would increase it to 10,000 rupees and say, okay, fine, I hold a 10% equity in this business, which is 1000 rupees, and I will sell my 10% equity for, let's say, 2000 rupees or 1000 rupees for that. So he bought the equity for only 100 rupees and he sold it for somewhere around 10,000 rupees. So his money's become like 10x, right? And he's pulled out his funds. He doesn't care if the business idea runs, it doesn't. If the business runs, it doesn't. And so is even the entrepreneur. So I think that era, for some odd reason, it came. It was essential for that era to come, and it has also gone. COVID is a great bell ringer, you know. So now any company, any VC, any investor, they look into an idea where they feel it has a life, where they feel it is solving a problem, because they know it for a fact. Like, boss, I let me tell you this, there have been bigger, smaller unicorn businesses that have shut down because of a 2, 3, 4 months lockdown, or a 1 year or a 2 years economic slowdown. Is that what you're building your business on? कि यार एक साल अगर आपके 100 रुपए की सेल की जगह 60 रुपए की सेल हो या 70 रुपए की सेल हो तो आपका धंधा बंद हो जाएगा. Is that what your business model is? I'm sorry, then your business model is crap and you should go home.
Yes, ma'am.
Taj is not shutting down, but Oyo shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Oberoi's is never shutting down, or many of the other budget hotel chains, they are not shutting down, but Oyo is.
Okay.
Because the idea was never to build a brand, a company, a legacy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, and like when I asked you your ultimate goal in life, you said that you don't have an ultimate goal as such. So, ma'am, don't you fear that if not having an ultimate goal in life, you will get lost at some point of life? Like you will not know what do I have to do?
Yeah,
Or
I see. Ultimate goal is we all die. We all have the same goal. We
yeah.
all die, right? But how many people remember us after we die? That is what the game is. So if you don't want to get lost, that is what I said. My purpose and my actions on that purpose is my everyday's. That is what will shape my ultimate goal. That is what will shape my legacy after I die. That is what will people remember me for. Because everybody will die.
Yeah.
Right? That is the ultimate goal for everybody. Right? And that is for sure that you can't take anything. You can't take the millions of dollars that you want. You can't take the huge amount of asset that you've done. That all is there. Right? So I think having a purpose is very, very essential, which will keep you grounded and humble.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing. You talked about spirituality. So, ma'am, how can we as college students, explore more about spirituality and get read how can we get in more into spirituality, ma'am?
यार आजकल तो सदगुरु बहुत ही पॉपुलर हैं. I think that's a great
हाँ जी.
entry point. And he actually, I think he's visited your college as well, if I'm not wrong.
I don't remember him visiting our college, ma'am.
Okay, like he keeps going to a lot of colleges, a
Yeah.
lot of cities, and he's so accessible today. The good part is that you don't have to go and sit with a guru to get knowledge at the entry level. You probably can just, there are so many apps which just help you to meditate. 10 minutes of meditation. So I'll just give you a heads up there. If you all can YouTube something called as Anapana. It is by
Okay.
S.N. Goenka. It's called Anapana. He's not very famous or popular, but the great practice of Vipassana, which Lord Buddha actually taught to all his followers or to everybody. Lord Buddha never believed in any sort of followership or discipleship. People made him a god. He himself never believed that he was a god. So I think, that was the practice that he did, which is called Vipassana. And we now as human beings only know the 10% of Vipassana, what Lord Buddha has actually taught. So, and Anapana is 0.0001% of that 10% of Gautam Buddha's practice of Vipassana. So that is just a 10-minute thing. It is a guided meditation. It is all about breathing and focusing on your breath for 10 minutes. And if you do that once in a day also to begin with, it is great. If you don't like that, there is Sadhguru listening to the videos. There is Gopal Das. There is Osho. There is there are Jay Shetty. If you more are in the contemporary sort of things, it is. Let me tell you this. So after food, the maximum search words was spirituality in the entire COVID time, because all people had no hope, and all that they had to rely on was God and spirituality. So also as an industry, spirituality is at a high after food and grocery.
Okay, ma'am.
So spiritual tech is a very big industry. Let me tell you this. This is an insider's information. So anybody working in the field of spiritual tech, and even if it is offline spirituality, and you try to connect with people and all that stuff, it's the industry to be in. Wellness is the industry to be in.
Yes, ma'am.
May it be physical wellness, may it be mental health wellness, may it be through allopathy, Ayurveda, through Sovarikpa, through homeopathy, through basic sports and music and dance or whatever. But any of you looking at getting into any startup space or working for any organization or any of that sort, wellness is a very, very big space.
Ma'am,
There's
yes, ma'am.
I saw a lot many more questions at the bottom. I don't want to miss any more questions, and I just have another 5 to maximum 10 minutes.
Ma'am, there is a question. How do you measure your social impact?
How do you measure? So technically saying there are organizations that measure social impact, which are third party organizations, and they measure the impact and see what you're doing. And they see, okay, fine, these are the stakeholders involved in this, and where have they grown? Okay, 2 years back, this is what they were at, and 2 years later, this is where they are. So those people do that. But if you do not have the money to do that for yourself, you yourself can make a very small Excel and start saying, okay, you know what, I had 5 people in my organization. And social impact doesn't need necessarily has to have to somebody from outside your organization. It can be from within your organization as well, you know. So it is the every single stakeholder involved in doing work, business, conversation with you. So probably me sitting here, I am doing a social impact. I am talking to around 100 people right now from Willard University. And if even if I take a 10% conversion of my impact, I feel I have somewhere impacted 10 lives and inspired them. And in any one of you out of those 10 people happen to create a great business or be in a great position in some company or in some government and doing great work, those people will further impact so many more people, environment, animals, whatsoever.
Yes, ma'am. That was absolutely such a brilliant and informative session. VIT Leo family thanks you wholeheartedly for such an amazing session, ma'am. It was an honor to talk to you with. We definitely learned a lot from this session. Once again, thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and I hope I didn't waste the
Yeah,
hour of
that
yours,
was
all of you
informative.
guys,
Yeah.
and I
No,
hope
No, ma'am.
No,
you
ma'am, it
no,
was a wonderful session, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, guys. So one quick response here is: any of you who's trying to look at any mentorship, any support, any problems that you want to discuss, your the president of your society, your university, or whatever, he has my email address and my mobile number. And as I said, I am very slow at responding. I still have somewhere around 200 WhatsApp messages, but I do reply. Like I don't know, from a very long time. I think 2 months or so. You guys have been trying to reach out to me and get a get a session scheduled, but just haven't had the time to do that. But eventually, it is happening. You know. So just reach out to me if you need any help. If you have any startup ideas, feel very free to send me your pitch or even one page presentation or a plan. I'll be very, very happy to help you guys. Any sort of other mentoring other than business or whatever that you need from my end, please drop in a mail or a message, and it'll be my pleasure to be of some help to you all.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you
sure,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
All right, guys, stay safe, keep healthy, and keep
Yeah,
evolving.
ma'am.
And I hope you all are having a great time.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.